Friends, Bihar and Tamil Nadu elections are around the corner in the country. Now, it is only natural that electoral parties hold on to any issue that helps them sway the votes in their favor. Electronic voting machine, or EVM as we know them, is one such entity which is used by all the parties. Now, while use of EVM designed to streamline the voting process maintains accuracy and security is a cause for celebration, it could also be a cause for some concern. Now, when it is criticized for lack of transparency and people allege rigging and things like that. Now, even in US, technologically most advanced and a democracy, doesn't really use EVMs in all its states. It is limited only to a few, especially in the wake of the Help America Vote Act, or HAVA, which was enacted in 2002. Friends, what are the challenges and concerns that the political parties seem to be harboring? Even before the voting begins, the EVM is initialized by an election official, verified, and functionality is also checked for tamper. Now, a voter gets to see a digital interface of candidates and their respective parties. He then selects a preferred candidate, reviews and records electronically his vote, which is stored in the machine's memory. The vote remains encrypted to maintain the confidentiality. Such records are transmitted to a central server or tabulation center, as it is called, through a secure network connection or by physically transporting the EVMs to the central location. Here, the votes from all the EVMs are tallied and specialized software used to generate election results. Does that story sound straight and simple? Maybe yes, maybe no. To the technically inclined, it could be challenging as much as it is to the layman. Of course, security measures such as encryption, tamper-evident seals, secure boot mechanisms, and audit trails are implemented to ensure the integrity of the voting process and protect against tampering and fraud. Yet there are concerns for EVMs do have security vulnerabilities and are possible to be tampered with a high level of risk depending on specific designs of the machines, the security measures in place, and the integrity of the overall election process. There are three areas of concern that one must look at. The first is the algorithms that run the EVM. In general, the algorithms and software used in EVMs can be changed. But doing so typically may require a controlled and authorized process overseen by election authorities. That is the insider threat. But very, very difficult to really make it happen. Assume an algorithm that reads the keystroke for a party X on the machine, internally assigns it to party Y, not as a rule, but on the basis of a random number generation, whose internal could be controlled on secondary data and poll surveys. To catch the event would be almost impossible. Even assuming there are paper trails generated for every vote cast, the method will escape scrutiny. For the algorithm will end up doing what it is designed for, with or without the paper trail. Of course, Changing the algorithms or software of EVMs is subject to strict security protocols and procedures to prevent unauthorized access or tampering. Election authorities often implement measures such as encryption, digital signatures, secure boot mechanisms, and physical security controls to safeguard the integrity of the software. Now, independent testing labs and election oversight bodies may be involved in evaluating the software updates. Not easy to tamper. Second is encryption. However complex it may be, it can be broken through by various methods such as brute force attack or cryptanalysis, plain text attack, or by exploiting implementation flaws. Even social engineering comes in handy for the attackers. Now there is a third method as well, which is the compromise or manipulation of the specialized software used to aggregate the votes and generate reports from various EVMs. Even as EVMs typically undergo testing and certification by independent authorities to ensure that they meet security standards, how does one prevent risk of insider threats? Individuals with access to EVMs could attempt to manipulate votes or compromise the integrity of the election process. Anything that can be measured can be controlled or manipulated. In that sense, EVMs are no different. Friends, all that is a lot of technology. Having said that, how does India manage its elections using EVMs? Since 1990s, EVMs in India have played a crucial role in strengthening the democratic process in India. Introduced by the Election Commission of India, in those years, almost 2 decades back, they addressed issues like both booth capturing and vote tampering, which was very prevalent at that time. EVMs have since become the standard for conducting elections across the country. Their design, their simplicity and efficiency having revolutionized the voting, ensuring faster results and reducing the scope for human error. Friends, EVMs in India are standalone. They are not networked devices and they have no connectivity whatsoever to the internet or external systems, making them largely immune to hacking or remote tampering. Manufactured by 2 public sector units, ECIL and VEL, under strict supervision, they undergo multiple layers of security checks, including mock polls, physical tests, and randomization procedures to ensure their integrity. To further enhance the transparency, voter verified paper audit trail or VVPAT machines were introduced. When a vote is cast, the VVPAT prints a slip showing the selected candidate, visible to the voter for a few seconds before being stored securely. This serves as a physical audit mechanism to verify that the vote has been recorded accurately. Despite concerns raised by political parties and critics about the potential for manipulation, no credible evidence has ever emerged to prove large-scale EVM tampering in India. The Supreme Court and independent expert panels at various times have consistently upheld their robustness, citing the stringent procedures followed in their use and storage. Still, maintaining public trust is very essential. Greater transparency, voter education, and periodic third-party audits can further strengthen the confidence in the system. In conclusion, Indian EVMs have proven to be reliable and secure, contributing significantly to free and fair elections. While no system is entirely foolproof, the safeguards built into an EVM framework make it one of the most robust electoral tools in the world. Are there other ways that are more robust? The EVMs can be integrated with blockchain technology to enhance further the transparency, security, and integrity of the voting process. It provides a decentralized and immutable ledger where each vote is recorded as a transaction. Integrating EVMs with blockchain could ensure that once a vote is cast, it's recorded on the blockchain and cannot be altered or tampered with, enhancing the integrity of the voting process itself. Records saved at multiple locations, which is a feature of blockchain, ensures that algorithmic changes do not affect the process. Friends, transparency is ensured by allowing all stakeholders to verify the integrity of the voting process. Each participation on the network or each participant on the network, such as voters, election officials and observers, they all can access the blockchain to audit the voting records and ensure that the results are accurate and trustworthy. Doesn't the largest democracy in the world deserve better? With that, friends, I will close today's discussion and hope I have put forward a few facts with a few arguments for bettering the process. Let's meet next Saturday with another episode on another interesting topic. Until then, thank you, dhanyawad and namaskar.